Marriage carried Amara into a new village called Obins, where her husband was known not for wealth alone, but for wisdom and fairness. The people welcomed her warmly, having heard stories of her transformation. Amara moved carefully among them, greeting elders with bowed head and soft words, remembering the darkness of the forest and the spirit's warning. Her beauty still turned heads, but it was her humility that won hearts. Women sought her advice, children followed her footsteps, and the elders praised her manners during village meetings. Yet respect is a heavier load than beauty. As Amara's influence grew, some villagers began to flatter her excessively, reminding her daily of her beauty and her rise from shame to honor. Slowly, pride knocked again at the door of her heart. Though she resisted, the whispers planted seeds. She began correcting people sharply instead of gently and enjoyed being praised a little too much. Unnoticed by her, the old shadow she once was started to stretch behind her again. One dry season, Amara was placed in charge of organizing a women's market group. At first, she led with patience, but when disagreements arose, her tone hardened. She dismissed suggestions, silenced younger women, and spoke harshly to those who made mistakes. Some women left the group in tears, whispering that beauty had returned to arrogance. The elders noticed the change and exchanged worried glances, knowing that character must be guarded daily, not learned once. Her husband tried to warn her gently, reminding her of where she had come from. But Amara brushed aside his words, saying respect demanded firmness. Soon, complaints reached the palace square. The same people who once praised her now avoided her presence. The village air grew heavy with disappointment, and Amara felt the cold distance in greetings that were once warm. One night, as Amara slept, she dreamed of the forest again. The same spirit appeared, her voice calm but firm. She reminded Amara that transformation is not a destination but a journey. You escaped pride once, the spirit said, but you invited it back wearing the crown of respect. When Amara woke, her heart pounded with fear and realization. The next morning, a serious incident occurred in the market. A young widow publicly challenged Amara's harsh leadership, accusing her of forgetting humility. Instead of responding with anger, Amara remembered the dream. She lowered her head, admitted her faults, and apologized before everyone. The crowd fell silent, shocked by her honesty. In that moment, Amara learned that true strength lies in correction, not control. After that day, Amara changed her ways again, but this time with deeper wisdom. She led by listening first and speaking last. She invited opinions, corrected with kindness, and praised openly. Slowly, trust returned. The women's group flourished, trade increased, and unity replaced fear. Amara learned that leadership without humility is like a drum with a torn skin, it makes noise but no music. Elders began using her story in council meetings as an example of growth. Children watched her closely, learning that mistakes do not end a person if lessons are embraced. Amara herself became more careful, guarding her tongue and checking her heart daily, knowing that pride waits patiently for careless moments. As years passed, Amara's beauty faded gently with age, but her name grew stronger. She became known across villages not as the beautiful woman, but as the woman who learned twice. Mothers brought their daughters to her, asking her to teach them manners, patience, and humility. She often ended her lessons with a smile and a proverb, "The face may open the door, but only character keeps you inside." When Amara grew old, the village honored her with songs and stories. Her life became a reminder that change must be protected, not assumed permanent. And so, under moonlit skies, elders continued telling the tale of the Mannerless beautiful girl, not to mock her past, but to celebrate the wisdom she earned through humility, failure, and growth.